Hey guys, thank you for being here. Sorry, I have something that feels like a tree log stuck in my eye. I know it's not mascara because I wear mascara every day, but I literally can't. It's a hair of some sort. I can't find it, so I'm running late trying to do the eye drops and whatever. Anyway, I'm waiting on Cher to be here. Thank you all for tuning in again today after you all tuned in yesterday with Paula. And I would highly suggest emailing her if you guys can to see what she charges for a reading because it's very much worth it. As you saw yesterday, she knew all about my cousin, which was really creepy. But it's wonderful at the same time. So find her email address below and contact her that way. My face is also like so blotchy and ruddy. I got a little bit of a tan and it looks weird. There's Cher. So I apologize for what I look like. There she is. Hey,
You
Cher.
look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I can't see you, but I know you're beautiful. There you are. Beautiful friend of mine. How have you been?
Good. How are you? It's been a little while.
Good, good, good. I was telling everybody I've got something stuck in my left eye, so I might actually have to pause my camera and run to get some more eye drops. I ran out of the ones I keep in my makeup bag. So isn't that annoying when you get something in your eye and you can't find if it's a hair or something, you can just pull it out with a tissue, but I can't find it. So whatever. It's probably even allergy eyes. I don't know. I'm a mess. So
Could be allergies. I've always got something in my eyes. I'm
oh,
constantly rubbing my eyes.
it's awful, and I don't even wear contacts, you know. But whatever, I'm old. So anyway, thank you for being here. That is so cool. I wasn't on last week, it was my anniversary week, and my husband took the entire week off. And thank you everybody for coming back, even though I took a week off. I really appreciate that. Oh, hi, Russ. That's really nice that you're here. Nice to see you. Let's see
Hi,
here.
Dave. Oh,
Is Dave here? Okay.
Caffeine. Yeah, Dave G. Cute dimples. Hi, we're glad you're here.
Aw, what a sweetie.
Dr. B. Hi.
Is she here? Oh, I love Dr. B.
She
Hello,
is.
Dr. B. And you can read the chat too. I know that Paula couldn't do it from whatever device she was using yesterday, and that happens to a lot of people, a lot of my guests. I don't know why. Yeah, you can read the chat too, so I won't be so desperate to read all of them if you don't. Mark, can you not see it, Cher?
No, I can. It's just my picture right now. I can read the chat when I'm like that.
Okay, good. Yeah. And I think I
Purple
remember.
butterfly. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Foxy lady. Cute dimples. Oh, I read that one already. Oh, everyone. Good to see y'all. Oh, that's you, Cher.
It is.
And I started late because my eye is burning. So whatever. Anyway, what do we want? We wanted to talk about the Watts case and some interesting points you brought up about how he said some bizarre statements or whatever.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me about that again?
Well, okay. Thanks a lot, Dave G. You've made me dive into this even more. It's all your fault.
Dave
But
G.
it's all his fault. He was posting on Facebook. And then so I'm like, well, I'm going to go and rewatch the interviews that he had done. And then that's when it popped out to me. And I've heard him 100 times like everybody else has. But it just stood out to me that he said that he knew it was the last time he was going to tuck him in. His daughter's in. But the words that he said was, I did nothing to stop it. Why did you say that? Like, what does that mean? You did nothing to stop it. Like,
I mean,
why wouldn't you say you didn't stop yourself, or like, or so like if he did it, why didn't he say like I couldn't stop myself? Why did he say and use the words I did nothing to stop it? That so then now that makes me feel like it was somebody else there, just because that choice of words. And when I was looking at him, I think that was a slip. I think that was the part truth he didn't mean to have in there. That it slipped by an accident is what I got from it. So now I'm questioning it all over again, of course.
I know you have the openest mind, the most open mind I've ever seen. And you go back and forth on your opinions about the case, which is good and healthy. and I've gone back and forth on a couple opinions too. But right now I am still convinced that Watts did it on his own. Um, but now what I took from that statement was that he was trying to distance himself from the crime, and so therefore he said, "I couldn't stop it. Something took over me, man. Whatever." Um, I think this entire time he's been trying to distance himself by saying he was like in a fugue state, or he was taken over by demons or whatever, just so that no one thinks badly of him. Even though he physically did it, he wants to prove that he didn't emotionally or mentally commit the crime because he wasn't all there. Something was, stopping him from stopping the crime. That's my take, but you may be very well right. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see here. Oh, good. You put up your link. Your link is cursed or something every
No,
time.
don't say that. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening.
I don't either. And it's kind of weird. I mean, because if someone reports a video or something, I believe it takes many, many, many months or whatever, many people reporting it in order to take you down. But to have a black strike so bad that I can't even, it says it violates Facebook, whatever rules and regulations. Very weird. Very weird.
Allie says, Cher, welcome to the dark side. Dave, look at my hands. I have nothing on them.
David, I don't know.
Ray, he said it felt as if someone's hands were over his, or maybe he was talking from the affair from the beginning also. So that's another thing that I also think, you guys. I'm very big into, we'll call it paranormal investigating. I do that as a hobby. I believe in demons and spirits and good, evil, all those things. And I do fully believe that there is darkness in that house. And I think it was there before Chris did the murders. If you even look at Chris's eyes, like right when he was caught and in the police camera, the body footage, his eyes are super dark. Like,
yeah, really weird. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and totally soulless, you could say.
Right.
But I believe that. I'm like everybody. I've seen the pictures, I've seen videos, I've heard the audio. I know you're into paranormal as well.
Definitely.
So I definitely could go that route too. Now, yes, he still did it, but he had said, yes, that he had felt like somebody else was guiding his hands, a demonic thing. Personally, what my personal beliefs is that Nicole and him and maybe some other people did some kind of seance or something in that house before the murders, maybe like a month before or a couple weeks before the murders.
Maybe. I don't know. And again, I think she was into the Wiccan religion, and she was into crystals and all that white magic stuff that I certainly played around with when I was a kid. I think by the time I was her age, obviously I had a child myself, and I didn't mess with that, but I know I was always terrified of my daughter using the Ouija board even by that time. But when I was young, I certainly did all that stuff. We bought the crystals. There were certain ones we'd buy for certain reasons. I did tarot cards. I still do tarot cards. That doesn't bother me much. But so I know that a lot of women, especially, go through that new age metaphysical stage in their life. Now, NK was probably a bit too old to still be into it. I don't know, because it's pretty attractive.
Your own, unless she's a lot like me, where when I was younger and grew up in foster care, there were several homes I was in that I basically bounced around different religions, different churches, being in different foster homes. I somewhat now at 36 have my own. I don't go to church now, but I do have, I believe in heaven, I believe in hell. I believe that I've not made up, but I've come up with my own spiritual beliefs. So I'm still into all of that. I actually do have a spirit board. I have the recorders. I have EVP and a ghost box. I have all those things.
Sure, I do too. Yeah.
I think if you if we'll call it investigating. I kind of don't really like using that word.
Right.
I feel I'm just curious because I've had my own things happen to me, so it makes me curious now to that side.
Right.
I think it's very possible that he could have had some evil thing done to him. If Nicole was maybe really into the cult thing or whatever too. I don't think it's something that everybody grows out of if she maybe had her own beliefs. It
Sure.
doesn't always have to
Maybe
be
you're
darker
right. You're
either.
right. But as far as performing ceremonies, I don't think we've done that in years. You know, my girlfriend Natalie and I, she's actually a witch, but we
Right.
haven't done that kind of thing in years. Really, we've played with an angel board a few years ago, but that was because my then teenage daughter was with us and she wanted to do it. But we haven't really. I mean, of course, yeah, I was a ghost hunter. I admit that for a couple of years ago, and that was a lot of fun. But I believe in that sort of thing. I totally believe in everything that is otherworldly or everything that is paranormal. But I don't think that. I don't know. I can't see her performing rituals at that age. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I doubt you gather your kids together and say, "Okay, kids, we're gonna have a séance at this age." I don't think, but maybe you do, and that's perfectly fine. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they did do things at his house, but I'm wondering if he had more than her over. I don't even know how he got NK in the door. Do you have any idea? I mean, unless she went through the back sliding window, but wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, he had a whole room set up in the basement that had its own, he could get in and out of down there. And
Mhm.
Shanann was upstairs. I mean, depending on how sneaky this man was, how sneaky Nicole
Mhm.
was, I don't know. Maybe they were under the same roof at the same time. I don't know.
I don't know either. I have no idea. But it's also fishy that she came in and the carpets were being cleaned, and that's just so weird. But again, I don't know how she could have made up stories, not knowing what Chris was going to say on the other end. That doesn't seem.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm
I would
at a
be too
point with this
scared.
case that I'm just basically I feel like anything is possible in this case. So I'm just like open. So I don't even know what, like, even if it was like a demonic situation, well, he still did that. I mean, absolutely, but there's
Mhm.
no way you can really fight that in court, right? You can't be like, oh, a demon took me over. That's not being
No,
seen.
of course
Like, no
not.
judge is gonna be like, oh, okay, well,
Well, it's
good
not,
for
oh,
you.
good. Thank God it was a demon and not your own mind. Um, and
Right.
I always wonder at the end of those scary movies where, like, the guy turns into or is possessed by demons and he runs around trying to kill his family and his friends or whatever. And then in the end, a woman kills him, somehow. How are you going to, and they walk out of the house with her kid or whatever, and she's so happy that she killed him. How are you going to tell the police that
Right.
a demon possessed my husband? Well, I guess you'd just say he tried. It always bothered me. Like, what happens next? Will there be an inquisition about her killing this man? Or, I'm sure there would be. You can't use supernatural excuses in a court of law. You're absolutely right. That's a shame. Um, but I mean, there are psychological reasons too. Did he go into a fugue state? And he literally, I believe a fugue state is where you basically black out, but you continue to do your life. Or
Not when you are actually, he planned it out though.
he
So that's
did.
another thing that makes me kind of go against the demonic thing because he was planning it out. So let's say it's a demonic thing. Well, he wasn't always in that house, right? So
Mhm.
would it be a demon then that followed him all around, went to work with him, and was just over him at all times? Or is it
I don't
that
know.
house itself was haunted? So yeah, I guess I can't. I mean, obviously that's not my first choice, but
Right.
to see how it's possible. I definitely believe in those EVPs and stuff.
Oh, I do
Another
too.
thing, Paula said that she really feels like that Trent man was involved. Okay, I am friends with somebody on Facebook and
Mhm.
on YouTube, and I will send you her link. She is also a psychic.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
a few weeks ago, she had even told me she had messaged me just out of the blue. She likes to discuss the case with me, and she was like, just so you know, it's coming to me in dreams and stuff. Chris was a gay man, and she doesn't really know, like, she didn't follow the case like all of us do.
Sure.
And she was like, he was a gay man, and I feel like this one guy is involved. There is a man involved that helped him. So it
Wow.
just like aligns with what your friend Paula was saying. I'm like,
Sure.
wow. And that's from somebody who isn't as invested in the case as everybody.
Right,
So
right. And I'm wondering though if that, Paula mentioned that maybe that Trent helped Chris after the fact out at the oil site. Chris called him frantically or whatever on his way over there, but then wouldn't that be in phone records? I don't know.
right. Unless Chris had a burner.
He could have. Yeah, he could have definitely.
And if you're
Yeah.
having an affair, and Nicole even thought maybe there was other people. So if he is having an affair, even possibly multiple affairs, he probably would have a burner.
Right, right. You're right. You're right. So that his
Shanann couldn't go through, wouldn't know about it, and it would, because it looked like the only thing Shanann was really watching was his charges on any credit cards and stuff like that.
right, which would be the only way that you could really track your husband's, wrongdoings or whatever would be what he
And
spends and
actually,
where.
she was looking at his phone too, because I remember she had texted her friend and said, he's changed his picture on his phone to some sand dunes. It's not me and the girls anymore. He changed the
Right,
picture on his phone. So she
right.
maybe was possibly going through his phone too. So I would put more money on him having a burner phone.
Sure.
At least
You're like 20 bucks at the gas station or whatever. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
That's
that.
entirely possible, right? But would he be so well, I think that he was so miserable because, they did get along, but in his mind they did not, Shanann and Chris. And I think he was so miserable that he is saying, okay, I'm gonna date other people starting now, and started running around with other people. And the fact that the Amanda lady and Trent have the same story, basically the same story, is you can't overlook that. And I know a lot of people said that NK called them, they were her friends. But the point is, there's no friend in my life, even my best friend from when I was 8 years old, no one in my life who, if I said there's a murder mystery going on, I was dating the guy who did it, can you please go to the cops and say you had an affair with him? There's no human being on earth who would I wouldn't agree to do that for my best friend. I might help her bury the bodies, but
unless what did he get out of the deal?
Right. I mean,
there's a price for everything. So
right.
What would Trent get out of the deal? What was he promised?
I don't know. You mean by Chris?
Yeah, Chris, possibly Nicole, or anybody else that was maybe involved. What was Trent promised then to help him? Because could you imagine getting there? What if Chris was just like, hey, come here, I need your help, whatever, and Trent gets there and it's
bodies, right?
It's bodies. Mm-hmm. And looking at Trent, and he was more of a feminine man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he would not have been okay with that. Maybe even possibly like thrown up or something, or like had a little fit, not knowing what to do. If I had shown up and there was bodies there, like, I would have panicked and freaked out.
I would have thrown, and someone did throw up at the site, right? I don't think that Chris.
I feel like someone had to have thrown up.
Oh no! Hold on, guys. Are my mods out there? Bumblebee, where are you? I'm hoping someone's here. Because it looks like we have arguing in the chat. Guys, don't argue, please. Or who is? Let's see, Mia. I love Mia, so let me see what she's talking about. Mark Klein. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I don't know who that is. I'm so sorry, Mia. If someone's saying anything bad in my chat, I'll find it later. I promise. Hi, Cindy Surfer. Shanann had password to herself. I'm sorry?
Megan J. brought up a good point there.
Oh, she did? Okay, let me find her. Why wouldn't they do mobile forensics on Bolte's phone? I don't know. Do you think maybe they did? And why would this stuff all not be in the release of documents? What is that called? Discovery. God.
Right.
Yeah, I should know that. I was almost a liar. I declined going to school though, and I got married instead. But but I don't know why they have all this stuff. Like, for instance, um, looking
Donald
into
said we could send whatever we needed to him. He would take a look and give us his
okay,
thoughts or ideas. So if
okay,
we want to do
sure,
that, there's an option from a detective point of view of what the heck
sure.
is possibly going on.
Sure, definitely. I should probably send it to Danielle Parco and her dad too.
Yeah.
Because they, like I said yesterday, they actually had a TV series, I want to say in the 80s, about them. And it's so, I mean, it's like a regular, like Magnum PI series or something. True, LA79 could be a Thrive patch. Oh, you know what? It could be. But Trent said he's on fentanyl. Who? Chris is on fentanyl patches? Or is
Ooh.
Trent is. What?
Now, that's interesting, right? Because was Trent not in treatment?
I
So,
don't know if he. Do you guys know? Was he in treatment or? Oh, I love you too, Mia. You're adorable. Do you think that he was? I don't know. You guys think he was in treatment or he actually worked at a rehab facility? I
right.
would. You guys know which one that is because I know he was a CNA or something like that.
Oh,
Um,
was he? Okay, so,
mhm. So I don't know
hmm.
if he worked there, because he met some guy that was sort of related to the story there. But I don't know. I really don't know. They should have checked Trent and Amanda. You know, they should have. And that's what I'm saying is that the discovery does not contain information like going off to NK, you know, off to Anadarko and talking with 30 people and hoping one of them saw NK that day or going through their video, you know, their security videos. I'm sure
Right.
they did. I'm sure they did. But why can't we see that they did? It's so strange. And you know, if they did any further investigation of Trent, why don't we see that? You know, but
All of those questions is what also would make me believe there's that theory out there that this is and actually this theory I've heard from a psychic as well, that it's the place where this took place. There's actually things signed where it's okay to do experiments on us, like social experiments on us. So what
yeah,
if it is some kind of weird, not, I'm not going to say staged like it didn't happen. I believe it happened. I believe these people died, but was it a setup to, like, look how crazy everybody is going on this case? Honestly, it
sure,
does. I'm a huge conspiracy theorist, so I leave all options open in my mind,
sure. And you
and I
do, yeah.
know there's corruption. There is, if people can't see that. So to to say that it's not possible to have something like that and do an experiment on all of us, look at us. It could have been an experiment like what makes everybody love true crime so much,
Sure. You think, I
or
mean, that is weird.
anything.
I know. And, you know, there's so many of the conspiracy theories that make sense.
But then look at Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell. I'm not sure if you know much about them. That's also another weird, bizarre case. Why were they not arrested much, much sooner? And in that area also, there is documents signed where they can do the experiments, social experiments.
but would that
Now,
involve murder? Oh, I don't
both
know.
places have such these weird cases that just make no sense
Mhm.
in any way. Like, what the heck
No,
is
I
going
know. A lot
on?
of stuff out of Colorado makes no sense. You know, a
No.
lot of the crimes. I love how they went to the trouble to interview Bolte's mother, but not Jamie Watts. Oh gosh, I didn't know she wasn't interviewed.
I
Um,
always wondered, why was she not interviewed?
yeah. I mean, she might be a character witness, you know, and she's such a sweetheart. I love Jamie. I don't know why they wouldn't do at least one interview as a character witness for Chris, if nothing else, or even to see if it was true that he gave Shanann drugs while they were in North Carolina. She might have noticed Shanann acting differently or whatever, because she was there with her, but only for a short period of time. I don't know. Does anyone know why they wouldn't have interviewed Jamie?
Right.
They didn't interview Leave Jim Alone. Chicken head cannon. I love that. It's going to make me laugh. I love your title. I don't know why they didn't interview Jim. Or did they? And it's just simply not in Discovery. And why are they keeping it out of Discovery? Why would
Right.
you not? And I know that Tammy Lee said that the case wasn't fully investigated because everything ended when he did the plea deal. So, but I find it odd. I mean, I think that the murder case was closed, but a case against possible accessories might have continued on. I know that in February, where Tammy and Coder and Baumhauer went to Wisconsin, February 2019, they asked Chris point blank, and by saying, people say that NK was involved, or was she involved? Was she there? Blah, blah, blah. And he came up with a very strange response saying, oh, yeah, I had to tuck her off the ledge. I mean, what is that? She's throwing a fit because she didn't go to the restaurant she wanted? What is the ledge? You know, and how does that have anything whatsoever to do with the crime? He did not answer that question. However, the important thing is that in February the following year, they were interested enough in resolving the NK issue once and for all by asking him that question. Or there's the possibility that all investigation did end when he confessed in November. And privately, Tammy and Baumhauer and Coder had these questions, these burning questions, because their right to investigate further into the crime was terminated the previous November, and they just had to ask that, you know, privately or on their own volition or whatever. Let's see here. Oh, Bumblebee, you are here, yay. Stephanie Michelle, there's not evidence to support that Chris did anything besides confessing. I don't know. I think the evidence is, I think the evidence is that he had the motive, he had the means, and he had the opportunity, which is all that is required to pursue him as a suspect. Now, I think also that the trash bags came from his home. The sheets came from his bed. If he wasn't there to take the sheets off the bed, then who did that? Everything ties him to the killings. You know, if you're alone in a house with your family and they get killed in the middle of the night, it's probably you. That's why I said, yeah, with the JonBenet Ramsey case, I know it was Patsy Ramsey. I have no doubt about it. And I've created my own evidence to prove that, you know. And she's passed away, but it's probably better that they didn't convict her, and that might be why they didn't, because she still had active cancer. Let's see here. More people.
Yeah, they had a lot of money, and you know, money does talk. So unfortunately.
Yeah, they got lawyers right away, so they couldn't be questioned any further. And unfortunately, the grand jury determined there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute. It was horrible. Stephanie Michelle, it's just hard for me to imagine a grown married man with children climbing in and out of a basement window just because he didn't want. Oh, is there more? I don't know if there's more. Hold on. Sorry, caffeine. Didn't want the security alerts to go off on Shanann's phone. I don't know. I don't think he would climb through the window, but he might have his girlfriend climb through the window.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I had to climb through a window in East Hampton, New York, back in November, the beautiful lady I was writing, we had actually released a book and we were doing a book signing. She had locked herself out of her apartment, and so I dive bombed her living room window because she actually had it open. It was awful. Shanann was violently ill the night Chris showed up. He wrote that letter. Yes, he's guilty. I tend to agree with you, Stephanie. I absolutely agree with you. The letter itself shows premeditation and forethought, because back in July, he's talking about how he's scared for his own life, and that he said, "Oh, but no, I will never hurt the children. But if I'm dead or whatever, if I'm murdered, that Shanann did it." No, that's weird.
Um, Cute Dimples asked if we think that would Chris get that appeal that we all heard he's trying to do. Now, I have a theory about this. To hear that somebody like Chris could even get an appeal, well, we all know they file appeals, and I believe he filed one and it was already out. So I have for about a year now had a theory that if Chris did file some kind of appeal, if Chris wins this appeal, I have a theory the whole thing is set up and staged.
The whole thing?
Because why would he get that, right? Yes.
He wouldn't
if
get
he
an
wins
appeal.
it, that's something in my head that if he gets this appeal filed and he is granted it, I will believe the theories that it's a staged setup thing, and it was, you know, that's why he pled guilty, because he was promised something down the road or whatever. That's just in my own crazy mind. Like I said, I keep all options open. I'm like neutral, just in the middle, waiting to see what comes undone. Probably something next month is going to come out that we have never heard before. It's going to throw a damn wrench in everything for everybody.
Maybe.
And
I don't know.
that's another thing I'm interested to see as well. Next month, do we see interviews from Chris's parents? Do we see interviews from Shanann's parents? From Frankie? I'm super curious because they want everyone to stop talking about it so much. So are they going to talk about it next month around the anniversary? That when people do things like that, it really says a lot more to me on
Sure.
what's maybe really going on. I know the family said they haven't profited off of the story in any way, but I personally do not believe that.
Really?
I do not.
I think Dr. Phil probably paid them something minimal. I know I wasn't paid for my documentary, Dan Abrams documentary, which is, you know, I expected nothing. But a lot of people who are actually famous or infamous in this case, they probably were hired actually, you know, for the interviews they did give. And I can understand that. They're both middle income families, I believe, or, you know, I'm not really sure what they make, but sure, $15,000 to talk to Dr. Phil, great. I'll take it, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't know.
Rhonda, when she did her TV things, there was multiple different TV and different networks that she did interviews for.
Right.
We were supposed to be filming before the coronavirus, which everything happens for a reason, thank God. But with the Oxygen Network, we were going to be doing like a Where Is She Now type of thing with Rhonda for the Oxygen Network.
Sure.
They had actually said that all of the previous interviews were done for free. So her family had gotten nothing. Her son, and really it's because they wanted nothing. The family was like, I don't want anything from this at all. Like they've lost, you know, they didn't want it. So when they came around again and they were bugging the family, and the family was like, oh, I don't know. I said, well, you got to get something out of it. This is your story too. Tell them you want this or this or this out of it.
Sure.
So, and I was the negotiator for that. So I was like, well, you're going to do this. They want that. Rhonda needs this and this, including flying me in so I could be there with her for the interview.
Sure,
and stuff.
That would be important. Yeah, obviously.
I know that these networks, especially the networks for all true crime, is billion-dollar industry, right?
Absolutely.
Every year, billions and billions of dollars. This family, now I'm no dummy, and Rhonda was stern about making sure certain things, like I had to be put up in a hotel, stuff like that. They had no problem doing any of that for me, paying for my travel, stay, food, everything for me. So I don't believe that Shanann's family, who would pay people to stop media from talking, is not themselves getting paid for media.
Right. I would think they would. I mean, it would just be the right thing to do, I think. If you're going to be talking to these families, either the Watts or the Ruseks, about something, the most horrible thing that ever happened in their lives, you should probably compensate them for their time and their
Right, right,
trouble, because that's the last thing in the world they want to talk about. You know that.
right.
A fingerprint was found inside the black garbage bag that did not belong to CW or Shanann. I thought, and I could be wrong, Dave, forgive me, but I thought that that fingerprint was simply not usable because the arch was smudged. Am I wrong
Right.
about that? Is that correct? The
That's
fingerprint
what I
didn't,
heard too.
that it didn't necessarily belong to another person, but the part of the arch was like smudged or incomplete or something. So they couldn't determine whoever made the print. It could have been Chris.
Right.
Um, but probably also isn't means for conviction, sadly. True. Talking to me. I agree with that time. Thank you, Angel Eyes. Um, well, from what I remember, is NK said, leave Jim out of this. And Kobach said, but, probably. I do remember that exchange. And, again, if you've read No Inclination, my best friend, David Smith, is actually the Jim character in my book. And what I had the mistress doing was, this is her best friend, the one she confided in all the time. And she called him over to spend the night because she was so worried that something happened to her boyfriend's family. But yet she didn't want him to be involved in the interrogation because he didn't do anything. He just was kind of like her number one support. That's how I wrote it in the book, in No Inclination. I don't know if you guys have read it. Please read my book. If you can't afford it, message me. I'll be happy to figure something out for you. But
So
anyway,
is he straight, Jim? Is he a straight man?
I don't know. I think he's gay. Honestly, I do.
Okay.
Hmm. I
Okay.
really do. I don't think, and I don't know where I read that or gosh, what was it? I don't remember. But I think he might be gay. Yeah. And Chris didn't know anything about him, but I'm sure he knew a whole lot about her affair with Chris because she wasn't telling her best girlfriends too much about it because they had different scenarios that existed in their past that would cause them to feel differently about her if she was actually dating a married man. But I think she told Jim everything. Hold on. I know Stephanie. That's horrible. Okay, what's horrible? What's horrible? Hold on. I'm looking for. Did you guys see anything? Oh, 2 seconds. That's not correct. The fingerprint was suitable for comparison, but did not. Okay, thank you, Dr. B. I appreciate that. I must have read it wrong. I am so sorry. But you have the whole thing, and so you've read it. Obviously, way more than I have. Blazes Behind the Wall. I agree because right now Chris doesn't even qualify for that 35C appeal. Nothing under that appeal applies to Chris. The only thing I'm thinking, guys, is that maybe if someone could prove that he was actually insane at the time he was convicted.
No, there's no way.
No?
No,
Okay.
he premeditated that murder. He premeditated it, and he himself says, "I did nothing to stop that."
Mm-hmm.
So you knew you could have, but you didn't. You know right from wrong then, and to me, that's what his words are saying.
Right, I agree. No, I agree that he did
So
know
there's
right
no
from wrong.
temporary insanity. The thrive patches didn't make him. I mean, there's just there's no way.
Let's see. Shanann suffers with kidney stones, and it's noted in her autopsy. And that would have made her really ill and have trouble going to the bathroom. Okay, sure. I do agree with that. She had a lot of things wrong with her. I know, Stephanie, that's horrible. I don't know. Again, I don't know what we're talking about. And they do make you throw everything up. My heart just breaks for her. She was mentally tortured. I'm assuming we're talking about Shanann. I know. And she had no idea what was causing her marriage to come to an end. But he wasn't evaluated. Couldn't that argue that he may have been insane? Oh, you know what, J. Ray, that's true. If he absolutely and definitely was not evaluated upon arrest or shortly thereafter, then we could definitely say that maybe he was insane, but no one knew. But he did know right from wrong. That's the only measure of insanity, is whether they knew that their crime was wrong.
Mhm.
Now, I believe, looking at all of his old interviews, that he didn't know, he didn't take it as a wrong thing. He sort of just told it like he was talking about lunch or something.
Right.
Even to the detectives who went to visit him in February, he told the story as though he was talking about going on a vacation, what he did on his vacation. It was so creepy
He
to
was very
listen.
withdrawn from it,
Because
which
it
is
wasn't
another
attached to him.
reason I believe the demonic kind of state
Mhm.
too. Like it almost like he was explaining for like maybe he was like kind of outer body experience watching himself do these horrible things possibly, which would make me believe more that he is possibly for real turned spiritual now, as he claims he is. But like I said, I don't normally believe. I always right away will think that's for show when somebody goes to prison.
I agree. No, I do agree with that. I think that it's partly for show, but I think
Yeah.
that the way his mind works is that he's he doesn't feel real emotions. He doesn't. Um so if he were to read a book about something that's purely good, that he would absorb that, because he doesn't have any real feelings or real thoughts about good and evil other than the known differences between good and evil. So I think that he is becoming religious in hopes that some of that goodness will actually absorb into him and he will have emotions. That's my take on that. Which doesn't mean it's insincere, but I don't think he has the emotion behind the knowledge. So he takes the stuff in, and so he has great knowledge of the Bible and all the quotes and stuff from the Bible, but he doesn't take it in emotionally. Might be a blip with chat, because I've had that happen before. Oh, I don't know. What are we talking about? What blip? What blip? What happened? Let's see. Megan, I can't either. Hello, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Hi, Irene. I don't know what I can't read. I don't know. Let's see. I agree. That's what we talked about just recently. I'm sorry. But no, as far as Trent being involved, I can completely see that. I really can. That he called him after the fact.
Right.
But the only problem I have with that scenario is, then why would Trent willingly come to the police? Not even knowing if Chris might have said, well, my buddy Trent helped me or whatever. Um,
Interjecting himself into the investigation.
mhm.
I mean, that happens all the time, more times than not.
Okay. That a guilty party will go ahead and jump in before they get him.
Absolutely, and maybe even trying to see what did they know on him.
Okay.
I remember watching that interview, and I remember everybody was just like, oh nope, nope, it's not true, he's just here for some kind of fame or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of threw it to the side, and that was it with this Trent guy. But I
Okay.
remember watching him and kind of believing what he was saying.
I kind of believed it too, but I believe everything.
Yeah.
You know me. But I totally believed it. And I haven't listened to Amanda's interview in a long time, but I think that actually had credence in my mind. Oh, can you see? Oh, can see you can. Oh, okay. Some people are having trouble in chat seeing others. Is that what's going on? Yeah, Chris does tell the story like he's just talking. However, if you really listen to it, if we really listen to it, um, yeah, if you really listen to it, see, I don't know. He seems like he's just telling a story that is benign rather
Yeah,
than this horrible story. You
that's
can have parts where he
exactly how
appears
I feel.
truthful, sure,
They
right.
getting Mickey. Yes, exactly. Just like when he said, "I did nothing to stop it." That
Mm-hmm.
does actually make me feel like, okay, so there's more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think that was a slip of truth. I don't think that he meant, and if you see his face, I think he was kind of. I don't think he meant to say that.
Okay.
I think he was saying it like almost like to himself too, like shit, I did nothing to stop this. Like, like wow.
Right, right, right. It could be. I don't know. I don't think Chris would cover for Bolty though. They didn't even know each other that long, if he's telling the truth, that is. I don't know. I don't think he'd cover for him, but how would they communicate to each other that he would or would not cover for him?
Right.
And if if Chris gave a random name, how are they going to know which Trent Bolte it is? But the idiot came forward, if he was involved. But I can see Chris calling some guy to help him bury or get rid of the bodies. Who, Troy, maybe, if not Trent? I don't know. Um, they try and see if they're on police radar. Okay. Or learn what the cops had
Yep.
discovered or suspected so far. Some even try and interject themselves in order to give false information to the police and throw them off the track of the real killer.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Absolutely.
some even think they are smarter than the cops,
Yep.
and it becomes a game for them. Interesting. Sorry, I'm blotting my lipstick. I
Yeah,
actually used
and it
lipstick that was
happens
the
all
same
the
color as my
time.
mouth, thinking that wouldn't be a
Layla
problem, but
Doreen. Layla,
yeah.
Layla Doreen, do you have a channel of your own?
Mhm.
And if you do,
Ooh,
can
maybe.
you
Does she?
put the link in the chat for people to subscribe, please?
That would be cool. Um, she is an author. Like me, I love all authors. Took me a long time to get over, because I liked Cheryl and Cadle. I really did, and I didn't think she could be capable of doing something like plagiarism. And I still think that maybe she copied down words and had it in her notebook and went ahead and jotted it down in the book without even thinking. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Ask NA about the 9 a.m. call. Why is that such an issue, guys? What is the 9 a.m. call? What does that prove or disprove? What is the theory behind wondering about that 9 a.m. 911 call from Nicole Atkinson? Do you know, Cher?
No,
Why is
I
that?
don't. So, no.
I don't
Mm-mm.
know. I really don't know.
Like, I'm not sure either, like, the whole who called the school, because it was a female, right? 9 a.m. call. This is discrepancy.
Could
Hmm.
be that she didn't really call at 9 a.m. Oh, and then like I was saying yesterday, or maybe it wasn't yesterday, I don't know when, but everyone is concerned with that garage door opening at 12:42.
Yeah.
I don't believe it was an interior garage door. I think it was an exterior. Um, and therefore it might have been the smaller garage door, maybe. Or that when Nick is his name, so many Nicks in this case, when he was jiggling the door, it might have caused another door to wiggle if there's the right vacuum in the garage. I don't know. Because
Right.
if you listen to Nicole Atkinson's interview with the cops, she says, she looks at her phone, she says 12:27, that's when Chris called me to ask if we were fiddling with the door. And I lied to him and I told him we weren't, that we were out of there, but they weren't really, they hadn't left yet. And this is what she was thinking was 12:27 that afternoon. But then later in the conversation, she goes back and says, "Oh no, the 12:42. Why did Chris call me at 12:42? Oh, that was when he asked me if we were fiddling with the door." And she said 12:27. I called Chris. I believe that's what she said. So I think that whoever interviewed her, was it Coder? I think it was. No, somebody else. I don't know. They should have asked her. So was it 12:42 when you guys were still there messing with the door before you took off? And all the other timestamps are based on her remembering. Oh yeah, this one called me before I got to the clinic, or this one called me after. It's based on her trying to remember when, in relation to what she was doing that day, these people called her. Like, oh, I was in the car. I remember that. Like, if I was in the car driving and, Cher calls me, I'll remember where I was when Cher called me. But in all that chaos, she probably didn't remember getting, 50 phone calls, what time of day they actually came in, or what they were when they came in around her activities, because she was so scared. But if you listen to the interview, she does say 12:42. Oh, okay, 12:41 or 12:42. That's when Chris called me about the garage door. So she's always told the story that Chris called her and she lied about still being there, and he asked, "Why are you messing with my door?" So if it happened at 12:42, there's your answer. It was, Nick jiggling the door. I don't know. Let's see. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, she was checking her phone for times that, yes, she was. However, what I mean, Cindy, is that she probably didn't, you can check for times, but if I get a phone call at 12:45, from my mother, I could say my mom called at 12:45. But was I at the grocery store, or had I already come home, or was I in the car? I think that it's the events surrounding the timestamps on her phone that are in question. And if she said 12:42, that's when Chris called me to ask if we were messing with the door, then I think that's right, because it's exactly the same time that there was a notice that came in. The garage door had been opened or tampered with or something like that. Let's see. That would mean that after she hung up with Chris at 12:27, they hung around for another 20 minutes. Then I don't know. They might have.
Yeah,
Well,
but
12:27. Let's see, 12:27, 42. No, about 15 minutes, actually. I think. I don't do math in my head. I don't know. Is that like 15 minutes, Cher?
So
Yeah,
12:24, 12:27.
12:27. And then 12:37 would be 10 minutes. And then 12:42 would be 5 more. So it's 15 minutes. And
Yeah,
I
so 15 minutes.
I think they did hang around for that long. I don't know.
But why?
To try to find another way to get in. That would be my guess. No, it wasn't
Huh.
Nick, because they were at the doctor. Okay, but why? How do we know they were at the doctor? I know someone has mentioned Nicole's Life 360 or whatever, but I've also read a lot of information saying that particular app is very off time wise. But I don't know. Did anyone collaborate that exact time? I don't know. And it wasn't the alarm that went off at 12:42. The garage door actually opened at 12:42. Thanks, Tammy. But don't you think that the alarm, I mean, Nick could have pulled it up a few inches or an inch or whatever, making it appear to the alarm company as if it was open. That's what I can't think. They were not even there, Cindy. That all depends on Nicole's timeline for when she went to the doctor's office versus when she was standing out in front of the Watts house or whatever they were doing there. And remember, she had a 2-year-old with her. And, getting a 2-year-old back in the car and, whatever you're trying to do with her is kind of difficult. Maybe the kid had to have a diaper change right there. You don't know. But 15 minutes is not unheard of, especially since they were wandering around the house looking for a way in or for some evidence as to where she might be. That's what I think. Hold on. No. They went to the doctors. Cindy, I know they did. But again, I think that maybe that timeline might be off. And we're talking like 10 minutes here, 10 or 15 minutes, sorry. Community correctness is not wearing a hoodie in a heat wave. Detectives. Okay, yeah, you were going to get in trouble, Mark. Oh, my. And again, we're all armchair detectives, no matter how much you guys don't like that word. Alan did not invent that term, so it's just funny. I don't know. I think he's cool. He's awesome. Let's see. I love her work. Oh, are we talking about Dr. B? Her phone shows her location is at the Watts house until 12:47. Thank you. Her son was messing with the garage door. It didn't open. Thank you. And Getting Lippy, can you post a location? She spoke to a friend while at the doctor's office is pretty much proven. I don't know. Anybody who has any evidence about any of that. I know it's in the discovery, but it's all over the place, and Dr. B has gone over the whole discovery again. So I don't know. And True Town is right. It wasn't an alarm. The door actually opened. I don't know. But but you guys know what I mean. If you pull up your garage door a little bit by hand, it's going to read on your alarm system that it's been opened.
Right.
even if the kid was strong enough to pull it up a wee bit. I think it's going to read. But it opened, I think, I've never experienced that before, but nobody opens my garage in the middle of the night or anything. NA uses her phone to keep time on calls, leaving, getting back. But my phone is 5 minutes ahead of my fiance's, and we never figured out why. Time could definitely be off. I agree. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen to NA's interview.
And that's the
she's
simplest
reading
answer.
off. No, you're right, Cindy. She does read off the times. But when she realized, okay, after she's done that, you go back, she comes back and looks at it again. So it's later in the interview. And she says, wait, this is an incoming call. Oh, that's when Chris called me about the garage door. And it was 12:42. That would be a weird coincidence. I don't, and she acted as though she was actually there. The agents confirmed that Nicole checked the doctor's office. It's in the discovery. Okay. And that they had a definite timestamp? I don't know. True Crime True Seeker has a good video about the garage door. Okay, I'll go look at that. Thank you. I try to watch everyone's YouTube shows because I love everybody out there. Let's see here. I think Shanann was taken out the back some way. I don't think anyone died in the house. Yeah, I don't know. And I really would love to have a cadaver dog expert. Maybe I'll ask on my social media if anyone knows any cadaver dog experts who could tell me if a cadaver dog would be able to pick up a death that just happened like 5 minutes ago. Because I don't know if there's any decomposition yet. I don't know if there's any fluids that would be created that would definitely indicate death. But I don't know. I can't speak from any experience or anything whatsoever. And every time I've looked it up online, no one seems to have the right answer to the cadaver dog's time, a time reference to when they could pick up the scent. So, I can send it to you. Awesome, getting lippy. Can you hold on? Oh, there we go. You know what? Can you find me on social media? If you're talking to me, and you might not be, but if you are, could you find me on social media? I'm Tanya Hagen or Tanya Hagen Author over on Facebook, and I'm Tanya_Hagen_author at Instagram. And I don't know what I am on Twitter because I never use it. But message me any of those places or even write it on my wall. I've got a public wall. And then I will respond to you with my email. I don't give out my email. What I'm thinking about doing is creating a new email account through Gmail so that all you guys can actually contact me whenever you want to, instead of saying something ridiculous like contact me on social media. So
That's what I do. I have an email just for YouTube.
Okay, I should do that too then. I've been thinking about doing that. I'll, if I do that, you guys keep looking back to below this video where I will post that new and interesting email account. I don't even know what probably just Murder She Writes, Tanya Hagen, but I'll look into it. Cadaver dog showed interest in Chris Watts' truck, but no one let the dogs inside. Oh no. Okay, so if they showed interest, it's very, very possible that Shanann was in the back seat, because if they showed interest in the exterior, why wouldn't they let the dog to the backyard or into the back seat or whatever? The handler kept telling the dog to shut up. I don't like that either. I mean, not just because I love dogs, but because that prevented him from finding any kind of or indicating any kind of a dead body. At the very least, though, a hunting dog, search dog, bloodhound will be able to pick up the scent that quick. You think so? I don't know.
Yeah, hunting dogs are very quick. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not to sound horrible, and this is still horrible to me because he passed in February. My little Yorkie poo, he passed in February, just of old age, and he was in my husband's office laying on his couch. He's got in there, and that's when he passed away. And my husband took him right out to the emergency vet, and they did what they had to do. But it was like 2 minutes later, he carried him out of the room. Well, the next day, my other two dogs, I've got a Great Pyrenees Black Lab mix, and I've got a Chihuahua. They wouldn't go into Kelly's office at all. and they usually love to climb up on the couch while he's doing work at his desk. They refused to go in there, and my little Stewie was only in there for about 5 minutes after he passed away. And then when they did go in there, my big dog kept smelling the sofa where Stewie passed away. So, and they're not trained, cadaver dogs. They're just dogs. So I don't know, maybe it was as simple as my big guy was looking for his brother Stewie and he couldn't find him. And then the last scent he picked up was right there on the couch, but they were acting very strangely about that room in general. So you might be right. But 3 different cadaver dogs went through the house separately. None of them commanded. Correct. But again, that goes back to my thought that maybe they wouldn't detect it yet, or maybe the body was not in it. We're only talking about Shanann's body. Why does everyone cherry pick from the discovery? One of the dogs did enter the truck. Okay, thank you. And getting lippy, what was the discovery? When did the dog actually indicate that there was a dead body in the truck? I thought that they didn't. That they acted a little weird, but they didn't. They didn't hit on it. I don't know. I don't think he did. Some of my family are Freemasons, but I don't think they would get away with murder now. My dad used to be in that too. And he would never tell us anything. It was so funny. My brother and I, beg him to tell us about his little meetings or whatever, and he would laugh because my dad told us everything, but he refused to whisper one word about what they did. They might be killing people left and right. My grandfather volunteered police in Crown Point, Indiana, when Jones Dillinger escaped. No soap gun, just who he knew. Sorry, he was an honest German Catholic. I'm not catching that up quite. My head is, I don't know. I really want to know how come Shannon was on her best friend's wedding, July 4th, and didn't even make a Facebook post about it, but you're talking about Nicole Atkinson? I don't know. My best friend, her name is Natalie Reese, and she is one of my friends. I've got 5,000 friends, and she's one of them. Even if I tag her in a post, she refuses to come over to my wall to, say anything to me.
Tim, are you possibly hinting at you don't think that they were as close of friends as Nicole has been saying? Because I've been kind of questioning that lately myself. Is that why you say that? Do you think that Nicole kind of pushed her way in Shanann's life? There's a reason why I think that. Just curious what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah.
The reason why I think that is because the way Nicole Atkinson was talking about the Thrive thing, and Shanann had told her, is it Shanann or Shannon?
Oh, well, her parents named her Shannon, and she changed the pronunciation of it, which is fine.
Shanann then told Nicole it seemed more like, well, no, you should just be a customer. And Nicole was kind of pushy about getting into Thrive, and then all of a sudden it was her. Almost like some people think it's been a single white female situation with Nicole Kessinger and Shanann. But now that's almost the feeling I get from Nicole Atkinson and Shanann.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
Interesting. I don't know.
I think she pushed her way into Shanann's life, and Shanann was kind of hesitant. And because now, if that's one of your best friends, like Tam is saying, why would you not want her to make money off of selling Thrive? Why would you say, well, you should just be a customer? Because if it's me and it's my best friend, I want you eating too. I want you making a paycheck too. Let's go, girl, So
I think that Shanann
I don't think they were best of friends.
I think Shanann was so diplomatic. And I kind of know this because I am too, but that what you want to do is you want to not look like you're stepping, like maybe Shanann didn't want to assume that Nicole wanted to sell the Thrive, and she said, oh, you can just be my customer, you don't have to sell it, kind of thing.
I got from what I got from it, Nicole seemed pretty pushy about wanting to sell it, and then Shanann was like, well, no, just be a a customer, almost like she didn't want it to happen. That is the feeling I got from it. And then it turned into, then it turned into Nicole's going everywhere and going on all these trips with Shanann. It's always Nicole and Shanann. And I always thought it was super weird how quick she called for help for her friend, because I don't think I would have been that quick. Oh, my friend didn't answer in 20 minutes. Okay, well, I'm going home. Call me when you get home or something. Like, I don't think I would have right away called the cops.
Right, but I think that she was with her that weekend, and she knew that her friend, that Shanann, was not feeling well. And I think she was very concerned. Again, maybe she gave her a headache medicine that, was prescribed to Nicole. I don't know. There's something in there that caused her alarm. But if Shanann was acting really weak and really headachy or, really sick over that weekend, knowing that she was 15 weeks pregnant, I don't know. I might be like that too if it's a friend who lives nearby. Megan J, thank you about the comment about my boy. Yeah, we got him for Allie when she was a little girl. And he was her dog, but he was rotten. If you guys have a Yorkie poo, toy poodle and Yorkie mix, you'll know what I mean. I'm not sure if I think it's the toy poodle part of them that makes them be, really naughty and kind of mean to other dogs and people. I don't know, but we loved him. Oh my God. Angeling 72. I was weary at first. I have small kids, but I was afraid the owners would have put him off on the road if we didn't take him. It's day 4 and we love him. Oh, we're talking about a puppy? I love animals. Oh my gosh. And so my daughter and I wanted.
And that's true, Tammy. What'd she just say?
Oh, I don't know.
The only pictures you see of Shanann and Nicole are at the Thrive events. Another reason I thought that, because I've seen it online. Yes. Even some short, like, Facebook videos or whatever they were, where it seems to me like Nicole's kind of pushing her way in, like, hey, that's what I get from it. Everyone else has much crazier theories than me.
I don't know. And it's also possible that they just met. I mean, they met through Shanann's mom. And it's also possible that Nicole just needed a friend and she thought, oh, this lady is so nice. I really want her to be my friend. So we're going to start, hanging out together and whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. New comments. I do agree. The thing is that she was with her the night before and they were talking about her issues with Chris. That's true because she had the code to get in the house. I wouldn't give just a friend a code. Thank you. Megan, I agree. She watched the dog during the week that Chris was out of town with his family. In North Carolina, they were all gone. So she watched the dog. And you're right. I've got my best friend's son is my only dog sitter that I allow in this house. He just lives here when we go out of town. And I would not kennel my dogs, but it would have to be someone I really, really trusted and who wouldn't bend the rules for my dogs. Like, we live in a cul-de-sac, but a couple houses behind the cul-de-sac is a major street. And my big dog is 170 pounds and he runs. He likes to get out of here. So, I wouldn't trust anyone to adhere to the rules if he's never allowed out the front gate, out the, the gate that's in my foyer. I wouldn't just let anyone watch my dogs. I know, because they're like my children. I don't know. Cher, do you believe that way or are you not a dog person?
No, I have Zoe. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I was reading one of these questions when you were saying that. Katie McGriff. What baffles me is NA knew Shan was strangled before they found her. And that's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people say that. How did she know that?
When did she know that? I mean,
right. Katie, do you remember how are people saying that? Where can I find where she had said that or known that?
Is it in her interview? One of her interviews. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay.
I want to see that because I've actually heard that several times and that's very bizarre.
Yeah, that is. I don't have one, no, but I'm dog crazy. Good for you. Watch a lot of dog trainers on social media. I'll have a look, and I can maybe direct you towards some trainers on social media at JRay. Okay. Yeah, I need dog train. I need to take. They have these classes over here. Hold on. Go back and listen to an interview where she says the bed was stripped, the sheets were on the floor, but I don't know if any were missing. Why would she say that? Ooh, interesting. I don't know, Tammy. I don't know.
Right.
I believe that story that he called her and she noticed them. I think she was very suspicious. And like what Paula suggested on one of my shows, that it's possible that Chris was interested in the, what is it called, where you strangle someone while you're doing whatever with them. That he might have been into that, maybe through Trent or maybe through Nicole or even through that other woman. And that kind of scared her. I mean, maybe it was something he really, really liked to do. And so she thought naturally, oh my God, he strangled her. I don't know.
Do you know how long it takes for someone to actually die from being strangled?
Like 4 minutes, yeah.
That's not a sexual mistake. Let me just say that. I'm gonna be quiet now.
No.
But it takes a while to actually strangle somebody, and it takes some force too. It takes some force, and it takes a few minutes to kill somebody. And the odds of you dying from some sexual asphyxiation is, I mean, pretty slim, right? So unless you're really trying to kill that person by choking them, then I mean, that's what you're trying to do. It's not an accident. It's not some kind of bedroom closed door mistake. That's not what happened. That's just people talking and being silly and trying to throw the little sex parts in there because, I mean, that's a true crime case, right? Sex, drugs, murder.
Oh, that's right. This one has everything.
Right.
And even the rock and roll where he looked up the battery.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read that one from Tammy already. Let's see. She was choked unconscious and then smothered. Now, the only thing I disagree with is that I think the official cause of death is asphyxiation, right? Where that means that your airflow was stopped somehow. It doesn't necessarily mean that you were smothered. So when you're choking someone, their flow of air is stopped, and therefore the cause of death might be smothering, or no, what is it called? Is it asphyxiation when your air stops? Dr. B, are you still out there? Do you know? I don't know, but I think that I've heard that. What do you think, Cher? Do you know?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was reading the chat. I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay. Anything good you want me to pull up?
Then smothered. No, they're kind of just chatting amongst themselves on that.
Oh, okay.
Strangled.
Strangling and choking.
He strangled her unawares.
Mm.
There's a big difference between strangling and choking, and we're cutting off the flow to the blood brain. Right, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, definitely. But I think that when you do cut off, Layla, are you like me? I Google terrible things when I'm writing. Trying to, I Googled one time how to kill the president when I was writing a dystopian book. But yeah, do you know when they say strangled and choking, which is a blood choke? Okay.
Dave, it's not 1.5 seconds to choke somebody unconscious.
Ooh.
There's no way it's 1.5 seconds.
You know, I have to go tend to my pup and get an eye drop because I'm trying to deal with this. During the confession, he mentions that he and Shanann had sex several times. Why?
Right.
I mean, is he simply trying to prove that he was still in love with her and therefore don't blame me?
Was that ever in any reports? This Tam here. So if that's true, they would have done some. I mean, was there anything found? Was there semen found? I don't know. I don't want to know. But was there? If he kept saying that, wouldn't you think they would have to like, or I don't know. Maybe they just didn't because that's her husband. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
would
Yeah,
think
you're
they
right.
would have to check that.
Right, and she wasn't thrown into the oil, so she might still have DNA samples on her, because it wasn't that many days later. And I wonder if they checked into her nails for scratches of his skin.
I've
I know.
always thought that. The girls, I've always asked, has there been any nail scrapes done?
I don't know.
Because if you're being choked, I'm scratching the hell out of somebody. I'm scratching his arms. I'm scratching somewhere. Did he have any scratches on him? On his arms? I know he had one right behind like his ear. I can see a scratch on his neck. So I know there was one on his neck behind like his ear.
Dave sent me an attachment that I don't want to open it because it might. Oh, it's on YouTube. It'll start playing. But it's the 1.5 second standing sleeper chokehold. I've heard that before when we were kids. Again, my cousin Michael, his brother Mark, his little brother, he was taking like Taekwondo or something, and he told us about. He learned from the older boys in class how to actually knock someone out, and I won't tell you how to do it, but it's a certain place you press your thumb. And they're gone, right away. Right. And so he was daring us to let him choke us. No, I'm surprised that we were smart enough not to do it. But I don't know. Is that correct? Is that there is such a thing, the chokehold? Thank you, Dave. So you might be correct. Water. Oh, okay. We're talking about our pups. Sorry. Yes, what Cher said, if someone is choking you, you're fighting and scratching and kicking and hopefully collecting DNA beneath your fingernails. Now, I think that she might have been asleep when he attacked her the first time.
Oh, okay. Look at Dave on top of it. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, I know. He's sending me stuff that's awesome. I'll read it all after we close here. So yeah, there are so many. I don't know. Why are we still talking about this case? Why are we all so fascinated with it? I don't know. You can pass
because there are so many. I don't know how old. I don't know if I'm dating myself, but do you remember those books where you could like, you read through it and you kind of like choose your own path type thing? I don't know if those are ever
I remember those. Yeah.
Okay, it's almost like that because this case is so left open. It really leaves it where it's any possibility to this, right? We've got the paranormal side. We've got conspiracy theories galore. It could really be anything, and that's probably what's drawing everybody in and making everybody
I think so.
insane.
Everything, it's so bizarre. One of those cases, and again, when children are involved, I jump right on it to see what we can do to fix it. I know you can't fix it, but I mean to right some of the wrongs. I don't know. Yes, you can pass out quickly. Our camp counselor showed us, and we all did it. Someone held our necks, and oh my gosh, Katie, people actually allow this to happen to children.
Wow. Oh, JD, yes, I was thinking about that recently, that it's coming up on the anniversary. And that's why anniversaries and stuff for things like that actually tell me a lot. Like I said, I'll be watching very closely what all of the family on both sides do, what the friends are doing, and what's going on. That will also tell a lot to me. And does Nicole come out next month? Like I don't know. It'll tell me a lot though.
Do any of you think it's yeah, okay, that's what we were talking about. I wonder if NK busted CW busted him having sex, since that is what couples will do after being separated. And NK went ballistic. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
But I don't know. But how could she do that if she wasn't, did she go to the house? But then again, there have been an awful lot of people, or Chris and NK, have said that, she was only in the house once or twice, that's it, in the house once or twice. And I think that even sometimes they say it when they haven't been prompted to say something like that. Am I wrong? I'm probably wrong. I'm always wrong.
No. Yeah, why does she keep bringing that up, though?
I don't know. I do not know. The family of Shanann, her dad did that interview last year for the anniversary about not talking about the case. Right. And again, I don't know. That's kind of a double-edged sword or whatever. I certainly don't want the families to get hurt by what I do, which is one of the reasons I wrote the book, so that they can get some comfort out of, what I'm trying to tell everyone.
No, Tanya, how, when you wrote that book, I'm not sure if I've asked you, or maybe I did on the phone privately. Did you get any flack at all from the Watts side or Shanann's side or Frankie or anybody? So everybody was totally fine with it.
They were fine with it. Yeah, I even, I've talked to one of the family members directly, and they were, fine with it. There's no, the resex. What I did too was I tried to bring the families together. And one thing I did intentionally was that I made a character who looks like Jamie Watts, and she's a female, and but she would be doing what Frankie would be doing. And so I made it, a bunch of people into one person, including Nicole Atkinson's actions. I made a character for it's Shanann's sister, actually, or Sandy. In my book, it's Sandy, sorry. It's her sister, Jill. And she's a composite of several different real life characters. And I wanted the families to know how similar they are and how much I want them to bury the hatchet and become friends and grieve together. That would be ideal.
Right.
Because they're both victims. They're completely victims, all around. Nobody's a bad guy in those two families, except for the man who's locked up. And
we all need, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but we all turn everything in, like, we all want a bad guy in the story, right? We all cling on to that. So I don't know what it is, but we all just need that. We need that one person that we're going to hate. So Chris Watts is in prison, right? So who are we going to aim that at? I know
definitely.
At Cindy Watts, Nicole Kessinger, even Nicole Atkinson. Shit, I even thought, sorry for my French, I even thought that Nate the neighbor could have been involved in some ways. Like, I've had so many different theories in my head. Just so crazy. I just thought, like, we always have to have that one bad guy that we all have to go.
We do.
Right on for. It's so bizarre.
And even this is what I was saying about bullying yesterday, that that's what we do on social media too. We pick a bad guy and we go after them. People are people, and if you're not a psychopathic killer, then you're probably a pretty good person. My attorney told me last year when I had all the bullies come at me, and it was all started by one guy who I was actually writing a book for. He said to me, the reason that you're so trusting is because most people we meet are not going to be crazy. Then they're not going to be mean, and they're not going to be bullies. But then when you run into one, you expect them to be like everyone else and not be bad in nature. So I think that that kind of tells me why I like everyone, and nobody is, I haven't found out that someone out there is a psychopath. But so yeah, I don't know where I started with that story, but I just kept talking. Like that, Cher, we all need a villain. Definitely the shadow archetype. Absolutely. Yes. Who is she? What are we talking about? Real Justice sends his love, everyone. What is he in witness protection or something? He's so funny. Do you know him in real life, Archimedes girl, or are you him? Hey, Bumble, true crime, true seeker. I'm kidding, Archimedes girl. I love you. Trying to say thank you, ladies. I hope you're both well. I hope you're well too.
Oh, good to see you. Thank you.
Aim it at Chris. Thank you. He was an emotionally and psychologically abusive piece of whatever. Trust me.
Yes.
Oh, Libby, do you know the what? Did you know Shanann? If you did, I'd love to have you on my show. I'd love to have you on my show, even if you didn't, because I like your theories. I'd like to have anyone on my show. I know the girl from my audience wanted to be on the other day, but she couldn't make it that day. And that's fine, whatever. I think Cher came on. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for having me. Oh, gosh. Thank you for watching. That is so cool. And let's see here. She wasn't supposed to be here. Okay. I know what you're talking about now, which is why I went back to this. She wasn't supposed to be there. I think Chris was saying, and then there she was under my hands there in the room with me. Why is she here? And he was talking about Shanann, that it
Right.
seemed as if all of a sudden she appeared. Why was she there? Because he wants to show how clouded his mind was. That boom, there was this woman he was strangling all of a sudden. That's what I took that as to mean. CW does not feel like the villain type, but he is. I know. Yeah, that's one thing we all have a hard time wrapping our minds around. Again, his family is wonderful. And they raised a wonderful daughter. Why would their son be, out there being a sociopath? But again, someone mentioned that, I think it was on a Facebook forum, that he's got a disorder, just like someone who has diabetes or heart disease. He has a disorder, which is, what is it called? The antisocial personality disorder. Potentially, he might also be on the autism spectrum, or instead of having the antisocial personality disorder, but something has made him not be able to connect with what is good and what is evil. And I don't know. I've never really heard of people who are on the autism spectrum.
And, no, I've been a caregiver for many different adults, children, male, female, of all different types of disabilities, of learning disabilities, all the way up to Alzheimer's, dementia, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
When people have any kind of disabilities or learning disabilities, I'm not sure how it happens, but they are very, very strong when they are angry. I don't know if any of you guys in the chat have ever been a caregiver or anything like that. It's just the truth. And it's even in our training. It's almost like they're missing some senses, so other senses take over. But the strength that people have, especially when they're angry with people who are not mentally stable, and I mean that in a nice way, but who have disabilities, are very, very strong. So, if he really did have the disabilities, I could actually see, I think he would have the anger and the strength then to do the crime by himself.
Okay. True. No, I agree. There doesn't seem to be like, oh, sorry. There doesn't seem to be a disconnect with Chris and empathy. There does, rather. I'm so sorry. That completely changed the sentence. But no, there does. You're correct. He doesn't seem to know that when he talks about putting his kids in the oil well, in the same tone of voice that he talked about making his lunch that day, there's something wrong with him. And even in his interview from February of last year, he just sounded so flat when he told the story, and he would say things like, I knew it was bad, or not. He didn't say I know it was bad, but he'd say things like, say words that his emotions or that his person cannot portray outwardly. He has to say the words like, I know it was a bad thing, or it was, horrible. I wish I could take it back, rather than just sitting there and bawling like most people would be doing if they really had a break with the reality and they killed their whole family. And then he mentions that he's got pictures of his family up in his cell.
Right. That's so wrong.
I know. And not only is it wrong, I mean, I do sort of hope that he looks at her, and the babies over and over again. But I don't know, the way he tells it several times, as if it needs to be told. If he had the pictures up for himself, why wouldn't he just not talk about it? You're not going to hear about where I've got all my family pictures hanging in my house, I don't know.
That to me is like giving a serial killer his trophy to hang on to while he's in prison.
You're right. Cher, I take care of my fiance. He is paranoid schizophrenic, and when he is in psychosis, he has Hulk strength. Okay. Out of nowhere. It's bizarre to see. So yes, they can become very strong. Interesting.
Yes.
CW was for sure autism, borderline Asperger's. Right. He may very well be on the spectrum somewhere. Autistic people have empathy and sympathy. They're caring people. CW is a psychopath, right? And that's what I think too. But being a psychopath would mean that you are. He was born that way. Sure, I don't think there was anything in his upbringing that would cause him to become that way. So
Or
he's
it's
probably
genetics. What if he got it from his mom?
right, or from I don't know. She seems really caring. I don't see that with her. I see real emotions with Cindy, and with his dad. And of course Jamie is wonderful. But I don't. It could have come from his great grandpa. We don't know, and somehow he came out that way. Again, it's like someone coming out with diabetes or something from birth, or the childhood diabetes, whatever that is. I'm sorry, I don't know much about medical stuff. But you're born with it, and therefore you can't help it. But it's not a valid it's not a valid argument in court. You couldn't say, well, I've got psychopathology, or what they call it now is antisocial personality disorder. You can't just say that you have that, and therefore I had a right to kill at least my first family. I don't know, but it is a shame because it is an illness. We were talking about that already. Sorry. I try to pull up the bigger comments. My brother's autistic and Asperger's, odd, and something else. He has no emotions, doesn't know when you're joking at all. But my brother doesn't show any emotions of any kind. I thought he was going to shoot people. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. But I know that a lot of people on the spectrum, it's not that they don't have the emotions. I think they don't have the communication skills to display the emotions the way we all do. And I also think they have a problem with communicating or reading cues, social cues. So if you're sad,
I wonder people didn't go and try and support and help. We got all these people riding for Chris Watts and trying to prove he had help or whatever. Where were people like this for, let's say, is anyone familiar with the Gypsy Rose case?
Very much so, yeah.
Her mom putting her through all that mental crap, and then she still does prison time for having her mom killed and basically being an accomplice, I believe, right? Or having this boy kill her mom.
I think she was convicted of murder because it was her plan. The boy now was on the autism spectrum.
Yeah. So why though is everyone so gung-ho to try and help Chris and prove that Chris didn't do this alone? But we got this young girl from, how old was she? She was young when her mom started forcing her to play autistic, and I think she actually is on the spectrum as well.
You think so? I mean, listening to her talk, it doesn't show. I don't think.
I don't think you can go through something like that and not come out being unstable, and that's the truth. Right. Even with myself, with going through the trauma I've been through my life, I don't think I'm not the same person I would be if I didn't go through that. My brain, it alters your brain. It just does. It alters the way you think. You're always on guard. It completely changes somebody. So why would people not fight for her? I'm curious too what people think about that case too. So if everyone's trying to help Chris Watts win, that is a brutal crime. Where were the people? I didn't see anyone talking about or supporting this poor girl who I think the mom deserved everything she got. And that's my opinion.
Well, I think they should have just ran away. But she was terrified that her mother would find her again because she ran to some friend's house, the year before, and her mom found her and took her home. How awful, that poor kid. So
I kind of wish she would have just maybe stood up once during an interview and just started walking. But, she could have got beat then too. Yeah, it just sucks. It just makes me curious how do a group of people like everybody here on YouTube go and want to support like a Chris Watts or back him up, but then where was everyone for a case like this poor child could have used half of people their help with it?
She could have used a lot of help, and I think the system jailed her like a lot of children who are abused. The system sometimes fails. He was an undiagnosed, covert, malignant narcissist. Thank you, Anya. Is it Anya? He had lived under a false personality for years and for his entire life. He had that mask on, and he was the good guy that everyone knows is the good guy who would never harm a fly or whatever. And then he was always pushed around, but that was the mask he developed that he realized everyone wants and expects to come out of him. So, and like Lena said in her book, My Daddy is a Hero, she said that when a covert narcissist like this snaps, you think, oh my God, you're not acting like yourself. And what we don't realize is this is the true Chris Watts. This is the true narcissist who's coming out now, not the mask of the overall good guy who cares about everyone that he had been hiding behind for 36 years or whatever. So when we do see
he was a good guy and his mask is the bad guy.
No, his mask is the good guy that he wore for 35 years. Okay. But behind the mask was the true person he was. And when, again, when Shanann argued with him that night, if they even did that, I'm sure she realized, oh my God, this isn't my husband. I don't know this terrible person in front of me. But yet she knew the fake Chris. She didn't know the real Chris. So what we're seeing is the real Chris in the end. Because now he's gone back to being that all around good guy and, studying his Bible. And I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's his mask. You put it back on.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
He thinks he's doing well there too. Like he looks happy. He looks content. The interviews I've seen with him in prison, and I think much like Rhonda loved. She would always call herself. She was famous. She's famous behind bars.
Oh, funny.
Everyone's jealous of me. I'm famous. And so I'm wondering if is that how Chris feels? Like now the light and stuff is finally on him? Because I swear he was a little bit jealous of Shanann and her YouTube channel. I do. I think so. That.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that he was not necessarily, but if he's a covert narcissist, he'd never show that narcissism, but they're more dangerous than, again, like if you think about the Drew Peterson and Stacey Peterson case where he killed his wife and no one's ever found her, but we're pretty darn sure he killed her.
Oh, yeah.
Because he killed his other wife. Drew Peterson was an overt narcissist. I mean, he was right out there and pretty disgusting. That's those kind of people we hate. It's those kind of people we say, oh, clearly he was going to kill someone, but not like someone like Chris, who's a covert narcissist.
Why does he think murder and narcissism go together?
Mm-hmm.
OJ he's the biggest narcissist I've ever seen in my life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that I'm curious if a study was done. Are they all?
I don't know.
Narcissists?
I'm sure they are. But it's more difficult to see on Chris. Please help. Thank you, Megan. Sure, I agree with you that it alters our mind. I've been in an emotionally abusive relationship, and I often put up a walk and hypervigilant. I am so sorry, Mia. I didn't know that.
It does, and that's part of the thing that I started learning about a year ago now. They're going to start fighting in prisons. The prison priest that I've talked to thinks that it's about, was it 60 or 80%? I think he said 80, but we'll go with 60% of women that are in prison have battered women syndrome. And they are fighting. Doctors are going in through prisons to try and help reduce sentences for women who have gone through trauma and abuse, all the way from childhood to adult in the relationships and stuff like that. Because it truly does, Mia. It changes your mind. It changes you forever. You'll meet a lot of abused women who have been through physical and mental abuse. And 99% of them will say they'd rather be hit than to have the mental abuse, because the mental crap stays with you, and it's all you can think about all the time.
Oh my.
So I mean, yeah, I would say it's a real thing. I'm wondering, do you think that I don't think it just happens for women. Maybe Chris felt mentally abused and snapped. I don't know. I know he felt very, very controlled by his mother, and then felt very, very controlled by Shanann. I've always said it, and I still stand by it. I think Shanann had a personality she used on YouTube. I think she was mean and very well, controlling to Chris.
Right.
When she wasn't filming and doing lives. And maybe it was that mental abuse.
I don't know.
From his mom and from his wife. I don't know.
But why get rid of your children too? You know?
He snapped. Yeah. That I don't know.
He might have snapped, but I think he wouldn't have premeditated it if he did snap.
He premeditated it, yep.
Definitely. Cher, I agree with you that it alters our. Oh, we already read. I'm sorry, we already read that. I think I my mind starts going after a while. Unjustified. Hi, Unjustified. Facts, Cher. Unjustified, I still would love to have you on my show. If we can set up a date, we can all get together and chat. Yeah, Unjustified is here. She sure is. What a lovely lady. Arch, and probably the only one on YouTube worth over. What? Who's on YouTube worth over 600K?
Fake Teddy, yes. I will cover OJ. I've just taken a little break off of YouTube because of the bullying and things going on, and I don't like it. I don't like that I found myself following the crowd when I'm a leader, not a follower type of girl. Right. So I just took a little break, and in about a week, maybe less, I'm going to start covering OJ and even some of my theories on Princess Diana. Like I said, I'm huge into conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and huge, and with my own research and advocating and helping others, I do know corruption is very real. So, I believe a lot more of things that I come up with when I was little. So, yes, if you subscribe to my channel, and I will be digging into OJ very soon.
Very cool. I'm going to step away and go get my monster dog out of, yeah, it's crazy. Hold on.
And lies. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we need to get you on Unjustified for sure. I see. Is Real not here? Or is Fake Teddy real? Hey, JD, you're awake, girl. Good. I'm glad you're here. Who was saying that Nate's videos were fake, you guys? Do you guys believe that? Oh, the link, I did drop it earlier for my channel. I'll have to put it on because I can't do it while I'm on the live stream. So if you go to the comments of this video when it's uploaded, I'll just drop my channel link. For some reason, it doesn't let her put it in there. Your attic is full of Lady Diana. Yeah, OJ Simpson. Now, I was about 10 years old. I was born in 83. And Simpson was what, 94, 95. And that is the very first case that truly got me into following true crime. I remember watching the Bronco chase. I remember, as a child, you kind of I remember flashes of it, but then going and following it as I got older and older, and now doing this, I've watched a lot of documentaries and done my own research into the case and found a bunch of stuff that I think people should shed more of a light on, like the documentary about the serial killer Glenn Rogers. I've seen that the whole thing was staged. That's one theory that I have read about. Be careful. Yeah, be careful. The juice is still alive and out there. I know. I know.
Hey guys, sorry. Thank you, Cher, for covering for me.
Yes, Roseanne, I will also put the link to what is her, I can't remember, Insightful Carrie, I believe. But I will drop the link too in the comments for this when she posts it for that sidekick, because she was actually mirroring a lot of what Tanya's friend Paula was saying, and I was pretty shocked.
That's cool. Yeah, really cool. Where is she located?
Well, she's on YouTube, but she's also on my Facebook, but I'm not sure. I think she's from Kentucky or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, again, sorry.
Juice lives in Florida, huh? I'm in Florida quite often, so maybe I'll have to get a selfie with him or something.
Mm-hmm.
I would be that crazy, y'all.
You would. What was all that nonsense of Chris moving stuff from the Lexus to the trunk the next day?
Right.
Did he? Oh,
yeah.
He did. Yeah, and he must have been so shocked. I mean, if you've watched any crime movie or read a crime novel, he must have been so, or even watched like 48 Hours or whatever, any kind of a documentary about crime. Then first 48 rather. 48 Hours is about a different something else, but or about anything actually. But he must have been shocked about all the things that Ellie let him do that normally, he must have been thrilled but shocked. I don't know, to clean his house overnight, get rid of all the evidence. I don't know.
JD asked a question. How do we feel? Sorry, where is that? JD. Cher, what do you think about people slamming Frankie Ruzek? I don't like that. I don't think any of the family members should be slammed like that. I don't think when people do things like that, they truly understand the damage that they're doing, and that it does hurt people. You think that these people aren't online reading things about themselves, or we know Frankie is. He's on YouTube, he's on Facebook. We know he's reading these things that people are saying. We know he's listening and hearing, and it's very messed up because I've gotten in with families of high profile inmates, and it truly hurts them. Rhonda's son, John Chandler, he had only known certain things just from what he knows from the media, not even from what he's been told from his mother or anybody or grandparents or anybody. Certain things that he knows about the case is only what he's known through the media.
Right.
So if he's going and reading all these nasty things, that's all that he knows. And it does hurt the family. Hearing Rhonda's dad say that the day Rhonda was locked up was the day that he also got a life sentence, that breaks my heart. These people don't heal. I haven't talked to Rhonda's father in about 6 weeks or so. And even up until about that time, you can still hear the pain in his voice. And Rhonda's been in prison for 17 years. This only happened 2 years ago, and you guys just talking about, I mean, it breaks my heart, and the families need to be left alone. I think there has to be some kind of middle ground, because it's a true crime story. We're all fascinated with it. It's going to be talked about. That is our right as human. We get to have our thoughts and opinion and talk about it. That's a great thing. But I think there is a lot better ways of doing it than slamming people. Half the time and half the things that people are talking about on here on YouTube and social media, we're not even talking about the case, you guys. Everyone's just dogging each other because, well, your theory is wrong. Da, 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 da. Everyone has their own beliefs. We can't change what other people are thinking or believing. We can't.
And why would we try? I don't care.
Why?
I don't care if you think that aliens abducted the Watts family. I really don't.
Right.
I mean, that's a far out theory, but it shows that you're caring about what happened to this poor family. It shows that you're creative in your mind and you're looking for answers. And for all of that, I agree with you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yet some people can't. I don't know why they fight over theories about a murder case that wasn't in our own family. And certainly I feel so terrible for little young Frankie. I don't know how young he really is. He might be about your age, Cher, but I don't know. He's a boy to me. He's a boy. Anyone 30-ish is a boy to me. But
he didn't ask for any of this, and while people may not agree with what the family is doing, that's not our business. How the family is dealing with their own situation, they are the only people that have the rights to truly be doing what they want, saying what they want, feeling how they want, right? We don't have really those rights, but we do. We can't be bashing the family. There's got to be a better way to talk about this, but not be bashing. Frankie did not ask to lose his nieces, his future nephew, his sister. He didn't ask for any of that. The families didn't ask for any of this. And why anyone would bash anyone. I've heard things say like, well, how could Shanann's mom just let Nikki walk? How could you? That's her daughter. You're letting the mistress go. How could you do that? Well, did you ever think about maybe they all have the proof that it wasn't Nicole? Because then why wouldn't she want that person convicted? Like, people are looking at it all wrong. And
I agree.
However you think about it, we don't have the business to be bashing somebody that just lost an entire family. Chris is gone, locked up, never walking out of that prison alive, as far as I'm concerned. And Shanann's gone, and the girls are gone, and the son that was on the way is gone. There's a whole family gone.
I know.
Why are we bashing the mom, the dad, and all of them? Like, there's got to be a better way where we can talk about our theories and we're not bashing or you're hurting these people. And after 2 years, like I said, Cliff, it's 17 years later. And when you hear this man talk, a man's man who works on a ranch, has a ranch, a real true cowboy, and you hear a man like that crying because his baby girl is locked up and he's still not over it, and he's crying like the day that she was arrested, it's not right.
No, it's not.
You can't be doing that to the family.
Right. And I know that people have been bashing Frankie. I don't want anyone to bash anyone. Frankie is very vocal about it. He's very vocal about stopping the rumors about NK being involved and things like that. But that's okay. Again, he's lashing out, I believe, because he's hurt. I mean, that kid is so hurt. And that family deserves true justice. And I agree with you that if you have Frank Sr. telling us that he has stuff that we don't have, and he knows the truth and we don't know, and then his son is saying NK was not involved, stop that. I think that's pretty much true. I think that the victims, parents would certainly know if there is any evidence to release NK from any suspicion, they would be the ones who had it. So, that's why one of the reasons I don't understand why we keep going on with this, did NK do it? But, Trent possibly being involved after the fact, that he would be not an accessory to the crime, but he would be an accomplice after the. Is it accomplice after
the fact? Yeah, it depends. Did he help move the bodies? Did he help planning? Did he help? Like, how far into it did he know? Did he even really help? I don't know.
I don't know either. No, not at all. But again, I'm not going to blame Frankie for being very emotional about the death of his beautiful sister and his nieces and unborn nephew. No, there's no way. But again, he should not be mean to other people, like the YouTubers and all that. Poor kid. I mean, it's kind of like if my daughter were to do something like that because she's grieving over, my dad passing away, who, he did it a little while ago or a few years ago. I don't blame Frankie for anything. I feel terrible for him. But we need to all try not to hurt everybody, anybody really. And the Watts family, they're lovely people. I get so mad when people are mad at Cindy again for supposedly bashing Shanann. She's not. She's talking about things that her and Shanann disputed about. And again, it's something that all families have arguments and disputes, and they think that this family member is doing something wrong. And Cindy is simply telling the human side of the story. And, she's a wonderful lady, and don't hate her for that. Don't hate Frankie for lashing out at the YouTubers. But again, I don't know. It's a really kind of a tightrope to walk, when we see Frankie's hurting so badly, but yet, he'll say things to people like Mia that hurt her feeling. Mia is a wonderful woman. I mean, she doesn't have a mean bone in her body, and I don't know. I wish Frankie would stop it, but I understand where he's coming from. I really do. And I feel terrible for him. We live 30 minutes from John Travolta. You see him at Walmart. Oh, how funny, Big Teddy.
John Travolta is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, I used to see Donnie out. Well, I lived in Southern California, and I worked at Toys R Us when I was a teenager, and we would see Donnie Osmond would come in like all the time. I mean, like all the time. That was funny. And my mother actually had, who was it? Scott Baio. No, not his son. Willie Ames. Scott Baio and Willie Ames used to go to my mother's preschool because Willie Ames' kid was in her class. So it was kind of funny. But Unjustified, look at the light when Chris leaves. It should have been twilight, and it wasn't. The sun was already breaking. I don't know. But twilight, when the sun comes up, because God knows I've been up typing at that time in the morning, it does start getting lighter before you actually see that red sun. And depending on what part of the country you're in, yeah. You do notice it starts getting lighter out there, and the birds start chirping, and it gets lighter before the sun actually comes up into our sky. So that's what I think.
I got a YouTube buddy that was actually just spent the night. He spent a day and a night in Flagstaff, actually, just last week. So I should ask him if he was up early enough. Like how was it?
You should. Yes, they were following him. The Lexus was parked up the street. What?
I just saw a picture of that earlier. Yeah.
Really?
I gotta look more into that one though. Yeah.
Does anyone find it odd that none of NK's friends or acquaintances have shared anything?
No. If she has good enough friends that actually truly care about her, they're not going to share anything. I mean, my best friend could, I don't want to say like kill somebody, but I mean, I would, if my best friend was Nicole and I loved her and I cared for her, my mouth would be shut.
Right. Me too. Yeah, and I think that, because they don't want to be involved with the rat race, I'm sure. They don't want to be dragged through the mud like Jim has been. Poor guy. But yeah, I don't think I'd say anything either. I don't know. Who would you talk to? Like reporters or no?
That could be it too. Yeah, you would be talking to reporters, and then you have your name out there and your family is being all put into this. And like, do you really? I don't think a lot of people want to sign up, especially to be interjected into this specific story and crime. I don't think anyone's going to sign up for that.
No. You have to physically go into the what is that, YouTube creator? You can turn off notifications. It would help. I don't know what we were talking about, guys. Sorry, I get caught in the middle of a conversation. Thank you, chat, for walking the tightrope so politely. Oh yeah, everyone. Actually, Angela, you're right. Everyone's been pretty darn nice tonight. That's great. The Ruseks don't owe anyone anything. That's true. They do not. Until I see proof that NK wasn't involved, I have nothing else to speculate on except her own words and phone records that I find very telling. Oh my gosh. And just, we have to come on here and we have to talk about our theories.
And I totally understand that because I see both sides. With me, I want to see that proof and stuff in my face to tell me she was there unjustified. So exactly what you're saying, but vice versa. So right. I totally understand that. Yeah.
And we have different opinions and we can all still be friends, Unjustified. I loved your video you made about the bullying last week. I'm so sorry that you were a victim of that too. I was listening and watching videos as I was going along my week, even though, I took the week off of talking to people at people myself, but I loved that video. You're a very wonderful person. Let's see here. Did Dr. B leave us? I hope not.
I think so.
Dr. B, thank you for your video about the bullying too. It's gone too far. This is really silly. There's not been a nicer person, than Dr. B and, whatever, everybody else is being bullied out there. the Rusick family, they're amazing people, and the Watts family, they're amazing people. And why would you go out of your way to be actually mean to someone, to anyone?
You know, we're here to follow true crime and true, like, high profile cases and everybody putting their theories and their thoughts out there, right? So why are we so damn worried about each other and each other's lives and things like that? Like, none of you guys are paying my bills or my phone bill, my internet bill, none of that. So why do you care so damn much?
Right. And like I said, some people actually, with the Grey Gardens thing, they went so far as to find out what my husband's middle name is. They took, maybe it's from Google Earth, they posted photos of my house, aerial photos of my house. Yeah. And they went on LinkedIn, and my brother and my husband look identical. They look like brothers, actually like twins. And they went on there and found my brother and my husband, and they decided that they're the same person. There's some actor I hired to play both my brother and my husband.
Oh my god.
Because I'm so diabolical like that. You know.
I've had some weird things too. The true crime just brings out
not only true crime. Anytime you put yourself out there, I think anytime you put yourself out, I mean, I've got a really big personality, and you do too. And we don't mind doing that. We don't mind jumping into the middle of the ring or whatever. But anytime you do that, people aren't going to understand you. They're going to think, what is up with this girl? You know, she seems awfully nice.
Sides.
Yeah, that's got to be fake. You know, no. I mean, everybody on YouTube, again, even Miss Mensa, she seems like a nice lady. She has a very different theory than anything I would ever dabble with, but she has a place. You know, just Dr. B said that, and that really stuck to my brain. That even though I don't like her theories, so what? You know, and I hope
we don't listen or we don't watch is all.
Right, you just don't watch it. If you think they're way off the wall, just don't watch them. You know. They're not going to change unfortunately, no one is going to change the results of this conviction of Chris. Unless they have a really good attorney, or even some young, crackerjack attorney who can look into all the statutes and try to figure out a loophole where Chris can get a second trial or get an appeal. I don't think he needs it though. I think he did it. I really do. But that's it. Let's see here. I think we're gonna wrap here a bit. I've got to go.
My phone's at like 12% right now anyway, so.
Right. What is this? That's crazy, Tanya. Freaks me out about even publishing my book. Oh no, your book is gonna be awesome. Just make sure. I know. I can't wait. Just make sure that maybe the mistake I made was that even though, I'm an author and I want people to read my book and give me reviews, I put myself out there quite a bit. And I know you might too, I don't know. But be careful with that, because they think they know you. And they think that it's a more personal thing. I don't know why, but authors are really accessible to the public. And a lot of other people in entertainment are not, I guess. So that's what I've always figured as to why we're stalked and ridiculed and whatever.
I stalked you.
You did? Oh, yeah. People like Cher will stalk you.
Yeah. You will get voices stalking you.
There we go. Thank you all. Victim bashing is morally wrong. Absolutely. Oh my God. And so I know you're talking about, I mentioned Miss Mensa. That's true, but she doesn't know the truth. She's speculating. And to a lot of people who are making this speculation about everything in this case, it is a murder case to them. It is not necessarily, I don't know. To me, of course, they're real people, but a lot of people will look at it on the surface and say, oh, it's a murder case, so I can say whatever I want. And in the long run, that's fine, just so that no one's hurt by it. And I fear that some people could push it too far where people are hurt by it. But I've not seen anything. Sorry, Miss Mrs. speaks very badly of Shannon. Okay, I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to open a can of worms, and I don't know her. Allie's a stalker. Aw, you can stalk me anytime. Stalk Cher.
Stalk me.
But anyway, guys, yeah. Anyway, I think that True Crime Truth Seeker Just plodding along. Oh, okay. Yeah, Cher is awesome, isn't she? I love her.
I think you're awesome. Thank you.
She is awesome. Unjustified and Cher. Justified. What she accused Shanann was that that's if there are. I don't know. I'm saying nothing because I want to stay out of all conflicts and
We are
to each
Switzerland.
their own. I love you guys and I love all your opinions, just like even though I know a lot of you don't agree with me. But thank you for being here. Again, if you comment and you subscribe, you can comment either in the chat or you can comment under the video. If you comment and you subscribe, you will be eligible for a drawing of a free book on, I usually do it on Friday afternoon or Friday evening. I draw the winner. And everybody has an equal chance to win. Please do that and subscribe, of course. And I will see you guys. I don't know. This is actually my birthday weekend, so my daughter and husband have a lot of stuff planned we're going to do. But I'll probably see you guys on Monday, Tuesday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Love you, everyone. Thank you,
Love you
Cher, so
guys.
much.
Bye, guys.